Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Blissey with a Wild Charge in the Open Ultra League. As you're gonna see here, we're going to just have the team with the highest stat product possible for the Open Ultra League, which is going to be the Blissey, by far the most stat product there. Then we're going to have the Cresselia, as well as we're going to have our Registeel, which is actually a rank 1 Registeel. This is also a rank 1 Blissey, which is kinda cool. So definitely an interesting team, the most bulkiest team that you can possibly run in the Ultra League, which is kind of wild. And this team struggles against certain Pokemon, which is actually just Charizard, as well as the Talonflame, which is really tricky to deal with. Guess how often are you going to encounter this in 6 or like 7 battles? I think 7 battles that I did with this team. I think a total of 4 times, which was absolutely wild because I have not seen either Charizard or Talonflame a lot recently. But at least we're going to have some coverage now with our Blissey having access to the move. Wild Charge is going to get a shield, but not really a lot more. But still, we're going to have insane bulk for the Ultra League. Of course, this is not going to be the most exciting community day that we ever had, but at least like for the people that like to hatch X, it was a decent one. I hatched, I think, around like 140 X during this community day, which is kind of wild. But yeah, we're going to see here. The opponent goes for the bait first, going to be a Dragon Claw, and I can still go ahead and use a shield here against the next charge move, which is going to be the Blast Burn coming through. My play is to farm him down here, and I will see what they're going to have in the back. It is going to be the Gliscor, and it's very good that the Gliscor comes in here because this is going to be the matchup where we kind of want to have it. We don't really want to have it against our Registeel in the back. This team usually functions a little bit differently, which you're going to see later on as well. Like, the main goal for this line is to keep all Pokemon alive. Here, of course, it was not really possible because of the most worst possible lead basically that you could encounter there with the Charizard. But usually you kind of want to win by timeout. And spoiler alert, we're going to see that in action very soon as well. But now we're going to encounter Greninja in the back, and for me, I still have a chance actually of winning this first game, which is kind of wild, if I get the debuff onto my attack here. I have to say, because I was playing the community day at the same time basically as well, there was a lot of lag, and especially during the fast move animation, there was a charge move animation, there was a lot of lag. But here we actually got the debuff, which is going to maybe win us the game. They're gonna go for the Night Slash, and they get the double boost. Like, I was like, what are the chances? Like, literally, we would have been able to most likely win this game. Or can we still win this game? Is a Focus Blast enough from our Registeel? Let's take a look at this. It is enough, and we can win this game. First a game there, already a win, which is kind of cool. We have a great lead here for the second one, but we're going to encounter the Ampharos popping in now. Ampharos is not running Focus Blast anymore, usually at least, because Trailblaze is definitely a little bit better, plus then Brutal Swing. And of course, we're going to encounter the only one that I have encountered for the last like 20 years, basically, with a Focus Blast when we have a normal type Say Up. It is amazing. It's not like a wrong move where I would say, oh my god, like, you are on Focus Blast, what are you doing? But it's not the preferred moveset anymore, since Trailblaze was kind of in there already before. Basically, a lot of people just opted to go for something more safer, like the Thunder Punch or the, I guess, Zapcan is not really safer, but like a little bit different. But yeah, this was kind of awkward for us because now our Blissey went down, which was not really the plan. I was hoping that they would not have Focus Blast because we would be able to take like 3 or 4 Trailblazers if they wanted to go for that. But now we're gonna get completely hardwalled because of this. We most likely would have been able to maybe even realign there, which would have been cool. But like this, there is nothing that I can do about it, and so we're going to see here that we're going to get actually the attack drop. I thought of letting the next move go through because it's very likely that they're going to go for the bait, as we still have 2 shields left, and they know that my Registeel is very important, but I didn't, and so they're going to get the debuff here. They are going to go ahead and go for a Scald now, which they also going to get the debuff, so a double debuffed. And let's see if I'm going to get my debuff with a 66% chance move here. We don't, and I just decide to forfeit there. Not a lot that I can do about it, but we can move on to a horrific lead. But actually, we can kind of deal with it with our Blissey, because Blissey is going to be able to double resist the fast move, basically doing 0 damage against us. And as you can see here as well, the charge moves don't really do damage as well. But usually Blissey, also with Psychic here, Psychic is just the next cheapest move, that's why it's preferred on PvPoke as well, would be easily able to beat Giratina, which would have been really cool. But not the Dragon Breath variant here, and this is going to be a little bit awkward. If they had Shadow Claw, this would have been way better. So I feel like a lot of times I did not really encounter the Pokemon that I would like to encounter, at least. Of course, you can never really say that, but it is like weird movesets all around here. But I can at least still keep one Wild Charge for later onto my Blissey. I can swap out here, and of course, as I said before, if we encounter Charizard, this team is going to be a little bit screwed. We saw like some lag there as well before I get even to the charge move, which is a little bit annoying. But of course, we're going to encounter it here right now. But remember, I still have my Wild Charge stored on my Blissey for later on, so this might actually come in clutch here. And honestly, I wish I played this matchup a little bit differently, which you're going to see now as well. I can use another shield. They went for the CMP tie, all good. But as you're gonna see now, I will be able to hit another charge move here against the opponent, which is going to be that Zap Cannon, and I should have just stayed in there and tried to go for another one, because with 2 debuffs, we will be able to survive a Blast Burn, and as you're gonna see here, the Wild Charge is just not enough to knock them out. And with the lead that they had, basically my only play again would have been if I kept all my Pokemon alive, which I did not, because I didn't really have the chance here anymore, because I hoped at least the Wild Charge would be enough to knock out a Shadow Charizard, which is fairly squishy, but it wasn't. And so we are in a very tough spot here. I was just hoping that I might be able to just knock out 2 Pokemon and win by timeout, but let's take a look if this is actually going to happen here. We're going to see the opponent going for the Ancient Power, and they're not going to get the boost, which is kind of nice for me. I can still go for my own Moonblast, gonna get the knockout here, but of course they're going to have their Alolan Sand in the back, and so we're gonna try to swap out immediately, maybe get to another charge move against the Charizard, but as you're gonna see now, they can get to another one there, and so we're going to sadly lose this game, but I think if I stayed in, maybe there was a chance, but not like this. Let's move on to the next opponent. Horrific lead again for us, which is going to be the Greedent. Greedent has access to the move Crunch, which I don't really want to have onto my Cresselia, so I can swap out into my Blissey. Blissey can take any kind of move here. It literally does basically no damage, like honestly it does no damage here. Body Slam is just, I think, a 10 hit KO or something, which is just absolutely wild. As we gonna still try to just go ahead and go for the full farm down here. The opponent, like, try to go for a charge move later on. The opponent still goes for a Body Slam here. I guess here would have been cool to have the Hyper Beam on the Blissey, which I didn't opt to go for because at the end of the day, like, you're barely gonna get there, and it's not gonna do that much damage anyway. So here we're just gonna try to build up to 2 Wild Charges, and I still kind of want to try to keep my Pokemon alive. This is basically what I'm gonna try to do here. The opponent goes for another charge move, totally fine. And look at the next charge move from me here. This was the craziest like I've ever seen. Look at this. Like, you see me even swiping there still. All my bubbles just completely gone. Like, nothing I can do about it. It was, like, so sad because actually I didn't even know that my touch screen there kind of got recorded still, but the game just completely froze on me. And with this, the opponent is still going to be able to survive this move, which is really impactful, sadly, because otherwise they would not have been able to do that. And I would have been able to either get a shield, or I would have been able to get a KO, which is important. Like, a KO is exactly what you kind of want to get here. But it is what it is. We're gonna see here the opponent going for a Shadow Sneak. Maybe we can still come back from it. You see even more lag coming in there. Like, the game was so broken for me. But yeah, if you actually want to, by the way, see a really good team for the Open Ultra League, I uploaded earlier today a video about my Legend Run in Open Ultra League, so definitely check this video out as well if you enjoyed this one here. But we will see the opponent going for more Shadow Sneaks. I'm going to let those moves go through because I kind of want to keep my shield for my Registeel, because as long as I can hit this move, which of course I'm going to be able to do because the opponent doesn't have a shield anymore, Registeel might be the way of victory here, because unless they're going to have something in the back like maybe an Annihilate, but even there I would be able to 2-shot them with a Zap Cannon. I should be kind of fine. Overcharging by quite a bit. I just have to get basically a knockout against the opponent, no matter what Pokemon it's going to be, and it's going to be a Gliscor coming in. And you're going to see here, slowly the time is ticking down, and I'm most likely not going to be able to get a knockout, but what I can get here is I can get the Zap Cannon onto the opponent, and with this, we're all going to have still 3 Pokemon left on both sides, and we're going to be able to see what it can do here. The opponent is going to go for another charge move. Who is going to win this game? It comes down on who has more HP in total, and we can win this one. So, good game there. You see kind of the strategy there, trying to keep your Pokemon alive, trying to win by timeout. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have a Gliscor coming in against us. They go straight for the Night Side, which is totally fine. We can take one of them. We can go for another charge move because we kind of want to get them a little bit lower, so Blissey might actually be able to get the knockout here. But we're going to try to catch the next Night Slash onto our Blissey. Let's see if we can do this. We can do this, and we're going to be able to now take this move. It's going to do basically no damage against us as well, which is kind of wild. They don't get the boost, which is really important for us, as well as they can just go for the Zen Headbutt spam, trying to get some energy here against the opponent, as we have them below half health already. We see the Earthquake connecting, not going to do really a lot of damage either. I can go for a Psychic if I want to. Let's see if the opponent is going to use a shield now. They're gonna go for a charge move first. It's going to be another Earthquake, another hit that doesn't really bother me too much. I can go for the Psychic now. I have even like another Wild Charge nearly stored there, which is going to be amazing. Psychic going to connect. Nearly gonna get the knockout, but not yet, as the opponent goes for their own charge move here. It is going to be the Earthquake coming through. I can go for a Wild Charge and either get the knockout and with this like basically a KO, which would be great, or a shield. I'm gonna get the shield and I can even go for the full farm down here, and I actually got the knockout here as well now. They're going to have the Greedent in the back, but we of course sadly know that the opponent still has the Annihilate, and the Annihilate is going to be annoying to deal with. I tried to go for some charge moves here, but at this point I thought maybe it would be even better to go for Grass Knot over the Moonblast. Why would this be the case? Because I kind of want to just get rid of the switch clock, or like in general about like the clock itself, because I don't really want to get yeah, basically my win con here is basically to get the timeout win again. But as you're gonna see, Moonblast connecting. I should have went for the Grass Knot a little bit earlier, most likely. This is not going to get the knockout either, but we're kind of ticking a little bit from the clock here. I can swap out, and of course they're going to have the Annihilate. I just have to get the debuff now. If I get the debuff, I think I'm going to be fine, because I can easily take the counter then. I can easily take a Shadow Ball from the opponent. And of course, we don't get the debuff. And it's like, I feel like this team actually would have been able to get like 1 or 2 more wins. Of course, it's not going to be a great team in general because of the Blissey. Blissey is a horrific Pokemon. But I feel like I would have been able to get like 1 or 2 more wins if it just like wasn't as unlucky as I was here. We're gonna get the attack drop, which doesn't really matter, because now we're definitely low enough for the opponent to knock me out here. And so it's going to be basically them with a Greedent, which still has a move stored, which they're going to use now as well, which is going to be a crunch against me, and I was like not really able to do anything here. So good game there to the opponent. Let's move on to the second to last one for today. And again, like this is kind of unlucky. Like I barely actually encountered like a Talonflame or a Charizard in my battles prior. Like I did like already, I don't know, like 10 sets in Ultra League this week basically, and I basically barely encountered those. Like I encountered maybe like, I don't know, 1 per set maximum, but like here I counted like 4 total of like Charizard slash Talonflame, which is kind of wild. Of course, this Pokemon are kind of decent. Here we see a little bit more lag again, but still kind of unlucky, I would say, because the entire team kind of loses to it. I actually thought of going for Future Sight over Moonblast before, but I decided not to do it. I would like to actually have a Crystal here that runs not the Grass Knot, but Moonblast plus Future Sight. But as you're gonna see, the opponent can still go for a crunch here. We can try to get a knockout, and if we get a knockout, we actually still have a decent chance of winning this game here. They can go for another charge move here, which is a little bit annoying, but also kind of gives me 10 more seconds basically to chunk away from the clock. I can go ahead and go for the Focus Blast here. They go into the Talonflame, and I'm going to overfarm by quite a bit and now swap out onto the fast move into our Blissey. So we're basically very close to another charge move onto our Registeel, which might come in clutch later on. As he can take those flame charges, it basically does no damage against us, and we will see here the opponent going for the flame charge again. The damage is kind of boosting up on it, but let's see here, we can still get some extra energy. I'm going to use a shield now because I kind of have to. And what I can do now as well is I can go for a Wild Charge. And this is going to most likely get shielded. But let's see what the opponent actually going to do here. They're going to use a shield. They're going to go for their own charge move. I can still go for another fast move afterwards, most likely. They're going to get another buff here, as I can go for the Wild Charge. Hopefully we still survive the next fast move that is coming in. I can swap out here. We still barely survive it. I can get to the Zap Cannon now. Depends just if we can keep the momentum up, basically. If we can still win against the last opponent's Pokemon, it is going to be the Giratina. And it's going to be a little bit closer than you might expect now, because we still kind of have a lot of time from the clock already. Like, it's basically close, like I think around like the 4-minute mark currently in the game. And so it really depends on if we can just turn down the clock before we lose both, like one of our Pokemon here. But let's see, we can still go for another Moonblast. We're gonna get them low with that. But at this point, I'm just gonna try to catch a move onto my Blissey. Let's see if that's gonna work. It does not, and you see already the time is ticking down up there, but they have now 2 charge moves stored. First Dragon Claw coming through, second Dragon Claw coming through. And with this, sadly, we're just barely going to lose this battle, but we can move on to the final one for today. As said before, like the amount of Talonflame that I all of a sudden encountered was just absolutely insane. Like this Pokemon was like everywhere, which is super unlucky for this team. By the way, I did those battles while I was completely freezing outside. Like it was so cold today. It was not really enjoyable. So yeah, I also didn't do as many sets to like, or like in general, as many battles, just because I kind of want to get back home with it as well to do this video now. But as you're gonna see, Talonflame is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. We already got them kind of low, but we're also going to put them now into a position where they can get so much energy that's going to be a little bit annoying. They're gonna go for a Flame Charge here again, and I was just hoping that I can maybe get some more shields here or something like this. I can go for the charge move here, and hopefully they cannot farm me down in time. Hopefully they're gonna go for another charge move afterwards. Maybe should have went for the Psychic, but as they can farm me down, I just decided to forfeit. There's no real reason for me to play on. But yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Let me know in the comment section how your community day went, and I see you then. Bye bye.